Assalamu alaikum students. I am Muzaffar Bashir, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics and Statistics, Qaid-e-Awam University of Engineering, Science and Technology, Nawab Shah. Welcome to the course Operations Research. Operations research is a field of study where we optimize performance under given constraints. Operation research also helps us to develop models for decision making. Operation research is a discipline that deals with the applications of advanced analytical methods to help make better decisions. Further, the term operational analysis is used in the British military as an intrinsic part of capability development, management, and assurance. The books that we are going to use in this course are Kumari P. MBA Quantitative Techniques for Managers. These are handouts written by Kumari. Hamde Taha Introduction to Operations Research. Mathematical Models in Operation Research by Sharma J.K. Decision and Control written by B.S. Stafford. Quantitative Approach to Management written by Levin Rubin. And Principles of Operations Research written by Wagner. 35% stuff is from Kumari P. In these lecture slides, 35% stuff is from Kumari P. 45% from Hamde Taha, 5% from B.S. Stafford, 10% from Levin Rubin, and Harvard M 5%. Try to download all these books. These books and handouts are available on internet. If it is possible for you to download, try to download them in PDF form, and if it is not possible, just let me know. I shall provide you a link to download these books from internet. At least you have to download this book, Hamde Taha Introduction to Operations Research. I have mentioned here an older version, but you can download any newer version available on the internet. Maybe edition 8 and 9 editions are available on the internet. And in the upcoming lecture, at least you have this book with you in PDF form. Try to download this, and you can review the whatever we are going to discuss in today's lecture that is already available or also available in Hamde Taha. You can download that book and review yourself. The distribution of the marks in this course, the total number of lectures are 42. We have 42 number of lectures in this course. There are number of tests, maybe 2 or 3. Top 2 tests will be considered for your final grades. Number of assignments at the completion of every chapter. We have some assignments, some self-assessment questions, and you have to submit these assignments and questions via online LMS portal. You can write on page, or you can use MS Office, MS Word to write these assignments and submit online via LMS portal. And attendance, the part of attendance, definitely 10 marks are for attendance in your final grades, and you have to attend almost all the classes. 75% attendance is mandatory to be eligible for exams. And there is a mid exam, 20 marks for your mid exam and 60 marks for your final exam. This is basically total 100 marks course, and the marks distribution are in this way: 5% from test, 5% assignment, 10% attendance, 20% mid exam, and 60% are final exam. Prerequisites: you must have some basic idea about business mathematics, linear algebra, theory of numbers, matrix algebra, calculus, single and multivariable, graph theory, MS Word, MS Office, programming language, that depends on the class. If you are interested to do some programming, you want to solve these program operation research problem on any program, we can do that on MATLAB or Maple Mathematica. This depends on the class. It is not the part of our syllabus, but if you are interested to do some programming, so we can do on Maple, MATLAB, Mathematica, any of them. So this lecture structure in the chapter number 1 we have introduction, history of operations research, stages of development of operation research, relationship between manager and OR specialist, OR tools and techniques, applications of operation research, limitation of operations research, some self-assessment questions, and in the last we have the reference from where I have prepared these slides. Objective of the course, objective of this chapter is basically, after studying this lesson, you should be able to understand the meaning, purpose and tools of operations research, describe the history of operation research, describe the stages of OR, explain the application of operations research, describe the limitation of operations research, understand the OR specialist and manager relationship. These are the objectives of this chapter, that is chapter number 1. So, introduction to course. The British European refers to operational research, the Americans to operations research, but both are often shortened to just OR, which is the term we will use. Another term which is used for the field is management sciences, in shortened MS. The Americans sometimes combines the term OR and MS together and say OR or MS. The content and the boundaries of the OR are not yet fixed. Therefore, to give a formal definition of the term operations research is a difficult task. The OR starts when the mathematical and quantitative techniques are used to substantiate the decision being taken. The main activity of manager in the decision making. In our daily life, we make the decisions even without noticing them. The decisions are taken simply by common sense, judgment and expertise. Without using any mathematical or any other model in simple situation. But the decision we are concerned here with are complex and heavily responsible. For example, public transportations, network planning in a city, having its own layout of factories, residential blocks, or finding the appropriate product mix when there exist many products with different profit contributions and production requirements, etc. Operation research can also be treated as a science. In a sense, it is describing, understanding and predicting the system behavior, especially man-machine systems. Thus, OR specialists are involved in three classical aspects of science. Number 1, determining the system's behavior. Number 2, analyzing the system behavior by developing appropriate models. Number 3, predict the future behavior using these models. The history of the operations research. Operation research is a relatively new discipline, whereas 1770 years ago it would have been possible to study mathematics, physics, engineering at university. It would not have been possible to study operations research. Indeed, the term OR did not exist then. It was only in the late 1930s the operations research began in a systematic fashion, and it started in the UK. As such, it would be interesting to give a short history of OR. Early in 1936, the British Air Ministry established a research station on the east coast, Suffolk, as a center where all pre-war radars experiment for both the Air Force and Army would be carried out. Experimental radar equipment was brought up to high state of reliability and ranges over 100 miles on an aircraft were obtained. 1937, the first of three major pre-war air defense exercises was carried out in the summer of 1937. The experimental radar station 8 research station was brought into operation and the information derived from it was fed into the general air defense warning and control system. In 1938, in July 1938, a second major air defense exercise was carried out. Four additional radar stations had been installed along the coast, and it was hoped that Britain now had an aircraft location and control system greatly improved both in coverage and effectiveness. In 1940, on May 15, 1940, with German forces advancing rapidly in France, Stanmore research section was asked to analyze a French request for 10 additional fighter squadrons, 12 aircraft squadrons, so 120 aircrafts in all. When losses were running at some 3 quadrants every 2 days. They prepared graphs for Winston Churchill based upon a study of current daily losses and replacement rates, indicating how rapidly such a move would deplete fighter strength. No aircraft were sent and most of those currently in France were recalled. This is held by some to be the most strategic contribution to the course of the war made by OR, as the aircrafts and pilots saved was consequently available for successful air defense of Britain, the Battle of Britain. In 1941 and onwards, in 1941, an Operational Research Section ORS was established in Coastal Command, which was to carry out some of most well-known OR work in the World War II. The responsibility of Coastal Command was, to a large extent, the flying of long-range sorties by a single aircraft with the object of sighting and attacking surface U-boats, German submarines. The technology of the time meant that surfacing was necessary to recharge battery, vent the boat of fumes and recharge air tanks. Moreover, U-boats were much faster on the surface than underwater, as well as being less easily detected by sonar. Thus, the operation research started just before World War II in Britain with the establishment of teams of scientists to study the strategic and tactical problems involved in military operations. The objective was to find the most effective utilization of limited military resources using quantitative techniques. Following the end of the war, OR spread, although it spread in different way in the UK and USA. In 1951, a committee on operation research formed by the National Research Council of USA and the first book on methods of operation research by Morse and Kimball was published in 1952. The Operations Research Society of America came into being success of operation research in Army attracted the attention of to the industrial managers who were seeking solutions of their complex business problems. Nowadays, almost every organization in all countries has staff applying operations research, and the use of operations research in government has spread from military to wide variety of departments at all levels. The growth of operations research has not limited to USA and UK, it has reached many countries of the world. The short introduction, the definition, that was the history of operation research that we have discussed in detail. Now introduction in short. The first formal activity of operation research OR were initiated in England during World War II when a team of British scientists set out to assess the best utilization of war material based on scientific principle rather than on ad hoc rules. After the war, the idea advanced in military operations were adapted to improve efficiency and productivity in the civilian sector. Some definitions of operations research. OR is a discipline that applies advanced mathematical techniques to help institutions, private, public, non-profit, and individuals make better decisions. Number 2, OR has recently been called the science of better. Number 4, OR focus on finding ways to allocate scarce resources to activity often in an uncertain environment in order to optimize one or more objectives. Number 5, in simple words, operation research is an art of winning war without actual fight. Number 6, Morse and Kimball have stressed OR is a quantitative approach and describing it as a scientific method of providing executive departments with a quantitative basis for decisions regarding the operations under their control. Sathe consider OR as a tool of improving quality of answer. He says OR is the art of giving bad answers to the problem which otherwise have worse answers. These were some definitions of the operations research. Basically, operation research is totally a management. सो आई थिंक इट्स इनफ फॉर द डे. आज के लिए इतना काफ़ी है. इंशाल्लाह अब नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में मुलाकात होगी कुछ नए टॉपिक्स के साथ. तब तक के लिए अपना ख्याल रखिएगा. अल्लाह हाफिज़. नासिर.